Okay, I've got the wire pulled down exactly where I want it down there, and now I'm just gonna make it, oh, I don't know, this long out of there. You want at least 6 inches, maybe a little more. I could have made that just a little bit more, but I didn't. And you'll recall I had pushed the other wires up in there, and so now I got to get those back out. I've got the power off. I left it off last night because I don't want any hot wires inside the wall. I could have put wire nuts on them and let them stick out, turn the power back on if I needed the power on. But this particular circuit, we didn't need it on last night anyways. Okay, so I know these 2 sets of wires are going up. This one's going down. And so now the question is, which cut-in box to use? And this one's a lot longer. And if I had 4 wires coming out of there, 4 sets of wires, I'd probably use the longer box. But I've decided not to use the long box. And I can use the top box. And there's knockouts here, and these just kind of push down, and they're kind of spring-loaded. And you don't necessarily have to take the whole thing out, but I'm going to. Just going to take this and kind of bend it, and I think I'm going to put one in each side. You don't have to put one in each side, but you could probably fish. You could obviously fish 2 wires through one side if you wanted. Okay. I'm just gonna grab that with my pliers and twist it off. Okay. I'm just gonna break that off. And I don't know if, yeah, I think I'm going to take this one off too. I'm just going to make it easy for me. Some of them aren't as tricky as this one. They might just have a plastic bit that you kind of pop out of there. This one got it a different way, so kind of hard for me to grab them. Jeez. Okay, and so I've got that, and so when you take those out, sometimes you got just a little tit sticking down. Last thing I want is for the wire to hit that, and so I'm going to bend that up a little bit. I'm just going to take my wire cutters and cut that little edge off of there. Last thing you want is pulling your wire back in and having it catch that, you know what I mean? Okay. And so the wire coming from down below, I don't have to put that and come around the top. I'm going to knock one out at the bottom, and I'm going to look at that. Those 2 are facing up. This one here is on the outside, and so I'm going to take that one out. This time I'm going to use my screwdriver and bend it all the way up, like that. Okay, look at that, get that, smash that little edge, bend it up a little bit, and cut that part off. You learning anything? I hope you are. I sincerely hope you are. Okay, and so now, before I slide everything in, I should have checked every once in a while after you take a box out and try to put a cutting box in. It might hit the sheetrock somewhere, and I should have checked that out before, because usually when I don't check it out, that's the time where I have to shave off a little bit of the sheetrock somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do what I should have done before, and I'm gonna push this stuff up there. Okay, and don't be afraid that you're never gonna find those wires, because you'll be able to find them. Okay. See, so now I'm gonna push this in and make sure it fits. Okay, good. Look at that, fits nice. Fits really good in there. Okay, and before I screw it in, I'm gonna hang on to this and put the screw in a little bit, because sometimes when you first use a cut-in box, sometimes it's hard to get that first little bit of the screw in, and what happens is this thing kind of wants to lift up out of there, out of the little notch, and then you're trying to screw that in against the sheetrock, and it's not down where it's supposed to be, it's up here, and you try to tighten this, and you think, how come this screw is going in so hard? Well, that's probably why. Okay. And the other thing I can do, this sheetrock here is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so I can hold that out there and look at that and measure that. I got 5/8 right there. See, you can go as far as 7/8 of an inch thickness. Okay. And I'm just going to put this screw in a little bit. You don't really have to. You know, you do it too far and this flap doesn't want to sit down tight. Okay. I've just noticed that this flap, I've got it screwed in too far, just barely, so I'm going to unscrew it just a hair. Okay, now it fits down tight. Because see, you want it flat, so as you push it in there, it's going in, and then this flap is going to go straight up. As you first tighten this screw, got it like that, when you first tighten it just to there, see how that pops up, doink? Just like that, behind your sheetrock, and behind your sheetrock on both sides. That way it's designed to fit right up against the stud. See? Okay? So, now I'll get my wires. I'll pull my wires back down here. Come on. What happened here? Okay. Be careful as I'm pulling it out, because you don't want it to hit the sheetrock. You don't want to hit the sheetrock and break off the edge of the sheetrock or anything like that. We're trying to make it so it looks like nobody was ever here when we get done with this. We don't want to make another project for us and patch the sheetrock. Right? Right. Okay. Well, now, and if you got more than 2 sets of wires here, you might find that you gotta mess with it a little bit. Get all your wires situated. You gotta have a game plan and know how that's gonna fit into the box and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I got that one there. This set is over there like that. and this was coming down here, not against the wall, the stud, but over there, because that's where I cut my hole. Okay. So far, so good. Now, our next step is to put it in the wall. You're doing it. Take your job step by step. You can do it. I know you can. Look at that. I've got those up in there. This bottom one is the longest one, so I'm going to start that one first. And get these other ones situated in there. Make sure I've got the screw pushed in all the way so that can flop down. Okay? And I'm holding the bottom one up with my finger. Got the screw in there where it's supposed to go. Kind of wiggle that. Hold my mouth just right. I want to get these wires back inside the box from where it was before. Kind of pull on it a little bit. I can feel that where they stripped the wires coming through the box. This one's coming through the box just fine. Okay. Now, I'm going to split the difference of where the existing box was just a hair big, and the cover plate will cover it, you know, but if I split it, I'll be more than rest assured that it'll fit. Okay, I'm going to hold it right there, push that in. Now as I turn it right to there, that thing has popped up like that. And see, that's why I pushed the insulation back just a little bit to make sure that the insulation wasn't holding it from popping up. Because I've done it before where I tightened it and tightened it and tightened it, and then it seemed loose, and that was because the flap didn't go up all the way because it was hitting the insulation. Okay. So now that's just sucking that little plastic thing on the back in towards the sheetrock right now until I can feel it snug up. And I'm not going to tighten it too much. I'm going to do this one here. This one's going to flap down as I screw this right to there. Okay. Now it's sucking in to the back, and now I can feel it's tight right there where it's snug. Now I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit more. Not too tight, just snug. It's only plastic, you know. You don't want to go too much. That's why they have those little tits on there to hold it up against the sheetrock, and the cover plate is going to end up covering all that. Okay. Look at that. You've done it. By Joe. Just like that. Okay. I've got that lined up. If you wanted to adjust it, you would just loosen this up just a hair and then move this back and forth, move it back and forth. But I'm looking at it. It all looks very nice. Okay. Good show.